All right, you guys, I'm going live to show you guys how to do a fade. The way that I demonstrate today, you'll be able to perform this fade on any type of hair. I am performing a fade on ethnic hair today, but the technique can be used universally. This technique is not a one and done, like, this is the only way you can fade. This is just one of many techniques. Before I begin, I'm going to show you guys some of the tools that I use. I am doing a fade and I'm doing locks today, but on live, I'm just going to demonstrate the fade for you guys. This is mainly for a lot of students that I've taught that I have on my page. They're always asking or saying they want to learn more about haircuts. So this live video is specifically for those students that want to know how to do fades. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite tools that I like to use. I've used these tools for decades. They're my favorites. So I'm going to go over the tools real quick and then we'll begin the demonstration. Um, One of my favorite things is my blade caddy. I use Oster Clippers. And so with the Oster Clippers, there are interchangeable blades that you need. Some of these blades I have had for almost 21 years now. They are lifelong best friends for me. I do have a couple of guards for some longer haircuts. So I'll be using those blades today. Here are my Oster Clippers. I've only owned 2 pair of these in the last 21 years. That's how long these clippers can last. They're very durable if you take care of them. So my favorite brand of clippers to use is the Oster 76ers. So I'll be using those. I have an Andes trimmer that I'm going to use today. I just switched out the blade this morning. I found this blade on Amazon. It's already zero gapped. It is a T outliner blade. You can see that it has the T shape on it. It helps you get around the ears and get the edges of your haircuts really well. And then I took that silver cover off, so I have the space right here in the blade. Yeah. I have an old hair coloring brush that I use to clean my clippers off. And just to put in a plug, this demonstration that I'm doing today is not affiliated with where I teach. This is just for Facebook, brought to you by 31 Chic Salon. So this has nothing to do with where I teach. I'm just doing this on my own. Anyways, I'm a Johnny B fan, so I have some Johnny B talc powder. I have some Babyliss brushes for dusting off the neck and brushing the hair so I could clear out the fade area so I can see my lines. Let me cancel out that ringer. Okay. I'm going to use my feather razor for the nape area. I am a cosmetologist, so I'm not able to use a straight blade. So I use the nape razor. So I'll be using that today as well. Let's see. And you guys who have not gotten your cards done yet, make sure you go out there and get you some cards made. Very inexpensive. I got it. I'll think about it in a minute where I got these made, but it's that popular business card website that everybody gets the really cheap, inexpensive business cards. I got it made on there. The lips are holographic, and then the back is matte, but I was able to really, put my personality into them. Okay, everything else that's on the table is for later, for when I do my locks. I have my favorite dryer out here by Chi, the Chi Lava Hair Dryer. I have my locking tools. Those of you who are interested in, focusing on natural hair care, get you some locking tools. I have my crochet needle because I'm going to interlock the hair today. I got this gel. I just started using this gel in the last couple of months. The lock-in gel, I really like it when I do my locksmithing. So I'll be doing the interlocking technique and locksmithing. Um, I'm going to use my Design Essential Oils, my Design Essential Scalp and Skin Care Anti-Itch Relief Oil. It has tea tree and aloe in it, so very healing. The main thing with locks is that you want to keep the hair clean. And I always keep my long duckbill clips. I like to use those, either metal or I use the plastic. Also for my blade, when I use my nape blade, I'm going to also use the Jite Blade Glide. I spray it on the hair before I start to edge up. It's to keep, you know, the razor bumps and to let that blade glide over the skin really easily to prevent razor bumps. Okay, I have my Andes Cool Care to keep my clippers clean and cool. And then I have a golden hot dryer that I found on sale at Sally's, which I'm going to use that for my locks as well. Again, I will not be doing the locks on live today. Okay, so hopefully you guys can get a close-up look at this demonstration. Let me just plug in my Oster Clippers real quick, and then I'm going to begin. I'm going to try to keep it under 30 minutes for you guys, because if you're anything like me, I like to fast forward through stuff. Just tell me what it is and keep it pushing. Okay, so I'm going to walk through the blades that I'm using each time I switch, so that way you know what I'm switching to. So the first blade that I'm going to use is a 0 blade, which if you don't have the Oster Clippers, you have a regular like an Andes Clippers or another wall or whatever. It already comes with the 0 blade. So I'm using the Oster's 000, which is the same level as a regular 0. So I'm going to begin there. My blade is wobbling. I don't like the way that feels, so let me make sure everything's nice and tight. Okay. I'm gonna keep his fade low. So I'm gonna bring my 0. The occipital bone is right here. The hairline is right here. So I'm gonna bring the 0 right halfway in between the occipital bone. Halfway in between the occipital bone and the hairline. So I'm gonna stop my 0 right about here in the back area. And you can see how quickly the Osters cut that hair, just real clean, real fast. There's a motor in these, so the blades, the teeth move really quickly, so it cuts the hair real clean. That's why it's my favorite. It is very heavy, but when you start using it for years, you don't even feel the weight. Anyways, you can see I kind of did a little bit of a smile line. The head is not flat. Our head is rounded. So when I did my line, I went up with the curvature of his head, basically like a smile line. Now I'm going to go to the sides. I could just work the back area and keep going, but I like to do the sides and the back together so I could watch my line.
Sorry, I got triggered.
Really get so itchy. Okay, go ahead and straight. Okay, so I went ahead and brought it to both sides. You could see that I followed his hairline with my zero blade. I went up and around and down with the hairline because I want the fade to drop. And I did that on both sides with the zero blade. Okay, so I haven't switched my blade yet. Okay, so now I'm going to jump up to a number one blade and I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this extra hair so I can see my line better and start to fade that line in. So I created a outline. So when you're in school, you're taught to do the perimeter first, like when you're doing long haircuts. You're always taught to do the perimeter first. So that's basically what I did was my perimeter. Now I'm going to go do the interior, which for those of you who are familiar with long haircuts, that's your layers in your long haircuts. So I'm going to go in and do my interior and then I'm going to connect. Okay. So I'm going to switch to my Oster's 1A if I could find it. My Oster's 1A, which is the same. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's a 1A. It's the same as a one guard. If you're using, you're replacing guards instead of blades, it's the same thing as a one guard. This is one of the blades that I've had for 21 years. I'm going to show you guys how I know. When I had my first child, I had all of my blades carved with the A. You can't see it because of the shine. But anyway, I had all my blades carved with the A because my oldest son's name is Adarius. And that way I knew if anybody took my blades, I knew it was my blade. So this is one of the blades that I started with in 2000. Okay, so back here you're going to see me go up and to the side because I'm trying to catch all the hair. I'm going up and to the sides because I want to catch all the hair. I want a nice clean cut. I don't want to leave any patches. You're going to do the same thing if you have a guard. You're going to go up with the hair and to the side. His hair grows inwards like this, like a duck tail. So I need to make sure to go to the side to catch all that hair. Okay, so I'm not having to blend up here. A lot of you who do fades, because teach mostly Hispanic students, so I know a lot of you have clients that have longer hair on top that you need to blend into the sides and the back. So make sure, like say for instance, you want to stop your fade right here to blend it into the longer hair. What I do is I hold my finger right there where I want to stop my clippers and I go up and I rock it out. I do a rocking motion with my wrist. So I'm holding my clippers like you would hold a gun. I'm holding it like this and I'm going to go up and use my wrist to rock it out. So I'm going to show you that motion real quick. Okay, so if you're having to blend into longer hair on top, you're not going to go all the way up like I am. You're going to put your thumb where you want your line to stop. Make sure you give yourself enough room to fade. Don't go up too high and then you don't have any room to fade into the longer hair up here. Stop your clippers where your thumb is at. So I'm holding his head and I'm putting my thumb there and I'm going to rock it out. I'm going to do a rock out motion and I'm going to follow that all the way to the side. So that's for those of you who are doing longer hair on top, where you're going to do like a scissor cut on top. Okay, go ahead and turn to the other side. Okay, look straight ahead. All right, so I did my 0 to start my perimeter. I've done my 1 to go ahead and get rid of the bulk of the hair. So now I have a cleaner canvas to begin fading. So now I'm going to connect the dots. I'm going to connect my 0 to my 1. So all you have to think of is what numbers come between a 0 and a 1. Well, you're going to think half. If you're just starting out haircuts, you automatically think, okay, a half. I could take a half and remove that line. But when you're doing low fades, like ball fades, 0 fades, you need another number that's in between the half and the 0, which is like your 1/4 blade or guard. For the ones who are using those red universal guards, it's like a 0A, I believe. You can also get a 00 in those red guards. For me, I'm going to use a 0A blade. You can also get another size that's in between half and a 1. So in between the half and the 1 is like 3/4. Okay, so there are several blades that you can use to blend a 0 and a 1, and I'm going to use those. So I'm going to go from a 0 to like a quarter to half to 3/4 into the 1. So I hope you kind of understood that. If you're familiar with haircuts, you probably know those blending blades that are in between. If you're doing low fades, you need those in between blades. You can't just do the 0 to the 1 and blend it with a half. I'm going to show you what happens when you just try to knock it out with a half. You're still going to see a shadow there. So I'm going to use my Oster's 1, which is a half. Actually, let me go with the 0A. I'm going to go with a 0A. That's a half. You see there, all I did was raise the line higher. I got rid of the first line, but now I have another line. So that's what happens when you try to do low fades and you can't figure out why does my 0 not blend into the number 1. It's because you need those blending blades that are in between the 0 and a half and in between the half and the 1. So get those guards and get those blades. So I'm going to finish knocking out this line with the half, and then I'm going to go in with my 1. My 1 lies in between a half and a 1. You can turn your knees this way. Thank you. You gonna let me do a facial on video? No. Okay, that's a yes. Not today. Like during the week after school. Go ahead and turn to the other side. Okay, so all I did was just get rid of the 0 line using the 0A blade. which is your half guard. Now I'm going to go in with my in-between blades. So one of the ones I have is a 1. I'm going to go in with the 1. And you're going to see me use a technique where I'm using the corner. Instead of having my blade flat, I'm going to use the corner. And if you're into long haircuts, using the corner is another way of texturizing. So when you do longer hair, you know, you use the texturizing shears or you do point cutting into the hair to texturize it. That's basically what I'm doing with the corner of my blade. When you see me go from flat to the corner, I'm texturizing the line. So instead of raising the line higher, you know, every time you try to fade, the line goes higher and higher and higher. So instead of raising this line even higher, I'm going to go in and softly knock out that line and texture the line so I don't raise it up higher. Side note, I'm a hairstylist, not a barber. So any of my barbers out there, if you have some tips and techniques for us, let us know in the comments. I love taking advice, positive reinforcements, and positive, how you say it, positive, constructive criticism. I like constructive criticism. I don't know because you probably know. But any of the barbers out there, if you have some constructive criticism or advice for us stylists, please let us know. Stylists fade different than barbers do. All right, so I'm switching over to the 1. And I'm going to start texturizing this line and fading this line. Right on top of the line, I'm rocking it out. I'm doing the rocking motion. I'm going to stay right on top of this line and I'm going to just work this line. I'm not going way up in here into my haircut. I don't want to lose this hair. I just want to lose the line. So I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to rock it out and I'm going to use the corner of my teeth. Take everything to the side for me. I'm losing the sunlight. It's helping me. That hurt? I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead, turn to the other side. Mikey, say hi. He just woke up. Well, he just came out of his dark bat cave. Definitely gonna do it. All right. Okay, so I've softened up the line quite a bit. I have a little bit of a shadow left. So I just finished with my half blade. Well, it's my blending blade. It's not my half. My blending blade that lies in between the half guard and the one guard. That's the one I just used. So now I'm going to go ahead and go back in with my half and knock the rest of that shadow out by texturing the line. If you guys have any questions, please ask. I'll make sure I go back on into the comments and answer any questions that you might have. Come to the file maker. Go ahead and go to the other side. All right. Okay, so I just went in with the half blade and I mostly textured the line. I used the corner. I used the corner of my blade to soften up any shadows, and I'll make sure to take a picture and post it in the comments. I think I can do that. And I'm gonna go in now and I'm gonna show you my little cheat that I do. So like, let's say you wanna do a bald fade. I do a zero fade because I could do a zero fade easily. And then when it comes to the bald fade, it takes me a little bit more time to blend. So I kind of cheat. What I do is I go in and I do my zero fade and then I go back in with my sub-zero and clean up. So that way it's a bald fade.
How would the ball fade? Oh, that's sharp.
I told you.
Don't cut my ears.
There's zero gaps. I never use a zero gap blade on you. Okay, so I basically just went in where I did the zero and I cleaned it up with a sub-zero, but I didn't go anywhere up in here where I was fading. Okay, and stay down here at the bottom where I have my zero and balled it out. Okay, go ahead and turn to the side for me. Now remember how you did your line. If you do your line straight across, then you're going to go up straight across. I did mine in a curvature shape, so I need to make sure that's how I follow it. Here's from your locks in here. Okay, go ahead and turn to the other side. Okay, so some of you have a little bit of a hard time with your edge ups. I really don't need to edge him up because I use the zero gapped edgers. But when you guys are edging up and you're doing your line down here on the perimeter, keep it low. Don't raise it way up here. You see where the earlobes are? If your line is up here by the earlobes, you've put your line way too high. You need to remember where the hairline ended and knock out your hairline down there. And I'm going to show you how to use your comb to make sure your line is straight. So if you're having a hard time, like you're angling and stuff, go in with a comb. Place the comb straight. You see my comb's way up here by his earlobe? That's too high. I need to drop it down lower. Don't be putting people's hairlines way up here by the earlobes. That makes their head look small and their neck look really big. So I'm going to come make sure I'm below the earlobe area with my line. I'm going to place my comb flat. I'm going to begin right in the center. Everything I do, I always start centered because that's where I begin my balance and I can recenter myself. When you try to go from one side all the way to the other and you're seeing angles, it's because you need to center yourself. So go in and center yourself. You don't have to use a comb. These are for people who tend to angle, which I'm one of those people. Take that comb and just create a nice straight line. Recenter yourself because sometimes your right side is stronger than your left side. Okay? Then you take a step back and look at it to see if you're balanced. Sometimes your eyes get a little tired and you think you see it nice and clean and it's not. So take a step back and look at your work. Okay, turn to the side, Mikey. Okay, turn a little bit more. I'm gonna start edging up. Okay, you look straight that way though. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and edge up his hairline right here. I'm not recreating the wheel or anything. I'm gonna follow what he has. So your hairline drops down and then it angles back towards the earlobe area, and then you have your sideburns that drop down. So I'm gonna follow that. I'm not gonna edge up his hairline because we're retwisting his locks and his locks fall forward. So there's no point in giving him an extra forehead. You don't wear your locks back. He wears his locks in his face. Football. So when I retwist it, this hair is going in. If I see any little hairs, I might, but when you edge up locks all the time, you're basically pulling the hairline back. So if they're not showing their hairline, don't waste your time edging it up because all you're doing is pulling the hairline back. That hair should be twisted into the lock. Okay, look for it. Twist it. No, how you were looking right here. Okay. Twist it in there and then kind of clean it up, but don't force the hairline because you don't want to push that hairline back when you have locks. Okay. Okay, go ahead, go to the other side. All right. Don't worry about it. We'll pick it up in a minute. Okay. So like I said, I will put pictures in the post, more close-up pictures, in case, you can't see it on the video very well. I don't know if the lighting is good or whatever. It could look fine for me, and then when I go back and look, it's like blurry or something or whatever. Okay, so we are done with our haircut. He's gonna go shampoo his hair, get all those extra little hairs out of there, clean his scalp real good so I could go in and twist his locks. When we're done, I'll take pictures. I'll post it on the live comments if it allows me to. I've never done that, but I'm pretty sure I can do that. And again, if you guys have any questions, ask them in the comments. I'll go back and I'll answer them for you. So I hope this kind of helps some of you who are struggling a little bit with your fades. I hope this kind of help you get some ideas of what to do to practice. All right, Facebook. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Can you still do my